job, baby.
Alright, I have a question for you guys. What do you live for? I mean, for a lot of people, it's a really hard question to answer because either they don't know, or they live for themselves, or acceptance, or drugs, or fame, or beauty. They try to substitute all these different things in to see what they want to live for. But at the end of the day, these things, they just never fulfill, and it just leaves us empty. And we wonder why we have this emptiness in us all the time. So what are we supposed to live for? This brings me to my first point, is that we were meant to live for God. That's it. We are created to live for God. I mean, that emptiness is only filled by His love. And that's the only thing that can ever fill it and will ever fill it. And I was raised in church all my life, and I didn't realize this until a little over a year ago. I used to try to fulfill myself with like trying to be good at sports or in music or in academics. And then after that didn't work out, I tried being popular, and I thought that might bring fulfillment. And that just left me emptier than ever before. And then it wasn't until I heard this song called Where I Belong, and that I realized that I was meant to live for God every day, not just at church camp or on Sunday mornings, that it was an everyday thing, that you're supposed to live for God, because He brings meaning to your everyday, not just your week at camp. And the lyrics to that song are, is like, I finally found where I belong, and it's to be in your presence. And I realized that that's the only place that really can fulfill me. And so then after that, I started reading my Bible every day because I wanted to live for greater purpose every moment that I could. And I read Ephesians 3:19. It says, may experience the love of Christ, though it's too great to understand fully. Then it will be made complete with all the fullness of life and power that comes from God. And I realized that God's love is just amazing, that we were meant to live for God's love, and that His love is the only thing in the universe that can fill this void that we have in our hearts. Our hearts were created with this void for His love. And His love is just amazing. His love changes you from the inside out, and it covers all sin. It's above everything, every wrong thing that you've done against God, and God alone. He covers it. He has forgiven you. And that brings me to the second point, is that you can live for God no matter what you've done, or no matter where you've been. You don't need to be perfect, or need to change before He can start working in you. I mean, Paul, he was just like all of us. He wasn't perfect. He even persecuted the church before he was saved. And God was able to use Paul even after what he had done. I mean, if God can use Paul, He can surely use you. And you can see just the evidence of God's work in him, from being completely against him to being completely for him. And He changed him from the inside out. And we can see the effects of this in Acts 20, verse 24. He wrote, but my life is worth nothing to me, unless I use it for finishing the work assigned me by the Lord Jesus, the work of telling others the good news about the wonderful grace of God. I mean, He counted everything else as nothing. All of this acceptance from others, or beauty, or fame, He counted as nothing, because He knew that the only thing in this world that could ever fill Him up, that could ever bring meaning to His life, was Jesus Christ. Now, in order to have faith like this, in order to have love like this, we need to make the decision first. God won't do it for us. We can either continue living for ourselves, or whatever we live for, or we can accept His Son and live for Him and have a greater purpose in life. Now, why did God give us a choice in the first place? I mean, if He loves us this much, why would He give us a choice not to love Him back? Well, you see, God knows love better than any of us. And with love, there's freedom. You can never make anybody else love you. They have to make the decision themselves in their hearts. So God wanted us to love Him purely from our own hearts, wanted us to make the decision. He didn't want to force us into love, because that wouldn't be true and complete love. That's good. So once you make the decision to love God with all of your heart, you need to finish it. It's just like marriage. Like, you can't just say your vows and then the next day be like, yeah, I don't really love you anymore. I'm just gonna go to Africa because it's hot there. But we need to finish it out. I mean, until death do us part. You need to go all the way through. You need to love Him through thick and thin, sickness and in health. Now, I want to leave you guys with this, is that you can live for God no matter what you've done, and that you are meant to live for God. Now, will you start living for God, or will you keep on going on your selfish way?